Well, patients with hypertension quite often are actually in the bracket of being overweight. And it's important to understand that to reduce your high blood pressure, an effective way of doing that is by losing weight and by watching your diet. Now, the components of the diet, which many people may be aware of already, is that high sodium diets tend to be aggravate the hypertension. Some people are salt sensitive, some people are not, but let's face it, the American diet is very high in sodium, and that is a big contribution to our weight gain. Not the sodium part, but the calories are high and high in sodium. So as people start to eat foods that are lower in calories and lower in sodium, they can help them lose weight and lower their blood pressure. So typical foods that are high in sodium would be the processed foods, fast food, French fries, soups, pickled foods, soy sauce, frozen meals, salad dressings. There's so many things that you would not necessarily associate with being high salt, but they would have a lot of salt in it. So without even picking up a salt shaker, a person could have a very high sodium diet. And that's something I hear quite frequently from my patients is that, I never touch salt, but in fact they're eating foods that are just loaded with it. So how I work with my patients is that I can sit down and figure out, well, what are they eating and how can we incorporate lower sodium foods that also have flavor by incorporating things with a lot of spices and herbs and things that taste good. And, it definitely takes time to recalibrate your palate so that you can actually appreciate the flavor of food. I think our palates have become over-sugared and over-salted, so we're sensitive to overly sweet foods and salty foods. So initially, you'll start to eat real whole foods, natural foods, and not think that there's much flavor, but when in fact, as I give it a few weeks, you'll start tasting things again. And the beauty in that is that, you'll start to be able to appreciate the flavor of a lot of different types of foods that you normally would not have liked because of the salt factor.